Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa, and I struggled a little bit with this piece. Well, kind of a lot. I came up with the idea for this piece last week sometime. It was kind of a quick idea. It just came to me all of a sudden as I was thinking. I wanted something I could make quickly and that I wouldn't feel quite so much pressure to do, because I had planned to make another of my Ferocious Females series soon, but it just freaked me out because I wanted it to be so good. So I came up with this idea, and then I tried to make it, and I used some masking fluid, except I didn't think it through all that well, and I didn't apply the masking fluid all that well to the places that it was needed. And so when I tried to do this stripy effect on the background for this piece, the paint got all over the parts that actually needed to be blocked, and so when I took it off, there was a bunch of dark paint over places where I wanted her skin to be, and I wanted her skin to be medium light, and so that just was not going to work, and so I completely scrapped that piece of watercolor paper and just completely started over. I retraced my sketch and I just started over and used a different method. Instead of using masking fluid, I worked from making the skin first, so I would put it exactly where it needed to be and I wouldn't have that specific problem again. And then I did the background in a slightly different way, so you'll see how that is, because that stripy thing I was doing, I had a totally different image for it and hadn't quite worked out how to make it happen, so it was just a mess. So I'm very happy with how the final one turned out, but there was a mess before we got to where we are now. The concept for this piece, as I said, it was kind of a quick thing, and I decided to do one of my fallbacks, which my two big fallbacks are fairies and witches. And so I decided to do a witch because it feels kind of wintry and stuff, and I kind of, for some reason, I'm really on a blue and purple kick, so the background for this is blue and purple again. I've done a lot of that lately, I know. Sometime soon I will do something in different colors, but for now, it's another blue and purple background piece. But anyway, besides that, I wanted her to be a broom riding witch specifically, because I haven't done that before, I don't think. And I wanted her to be quite classic and simple and not some huge fancy crazy concept. So I just decided to have 3 things going on, or maybe 4 things, but just the broom, her little cat, and a very simple background. And so I also wanted to do a different face than I've been doing recently and try out another different ethnicity. So I decided to base this young lady's face on the actress for Rose Tico from Star Wars. I actually made this sketch before I went to see the latest one, what's it called? The Rise of Skywalker. But I remembered from back when I watched The Last Jedi how much I enjoyed Rose Tico's character. She's really cute and also fierce and just really cool. I really liked her, and so I decided to base my sketch for this face off of her and fan art of her, because I wasn't quite sure how to stylize her face, so I looked at a couple different people's fan art and kind of figured from that and from her photos of her where I wanted to go. And so that's how we eventually ended up with this face. I made some additional changes that further stylized it later on, so it doesn't look much like her in the end, but it was something new and different and a different face than I've made before, so I was happy with that. By the way, I would love to know what you have thought of the new Star Wars sequels, but especially The Rise of Skywalker. I really loved it. There were a few things that I would have liked to see that didn't end up being in it, but overall, there is a lot of great lightsaber battles and space battles and mushy stuff, and also lots of women again, much like The Last Jedi. There were lots of big important female characters, and I really enjoyed that. So let me know your thoughts below. If there are spoilers, just mark them for anyone else browsing the comments. Anyway, back to talking about the painting. As you can see, I'm now working on the background and making it more what my vision was versus what my terrible attempt to carry that out was in the last painting. So I really wanted a big fat zigzag behind her that would be something that, like the cat, with the irregular outline, I could put on a t-shirt or something. And I wanted it to be dark and blue, so it would be like the sky outline around her, so that it seems like she's flying on her broom at night. But I've seen stylized backgrounds like this before, where it's kind of like somebody's painted the background behind her, in addition to it actually being painted. And so I really like that style, so I wanted to try it out, and I really like how it ended up the second time I tried it. Going for the individual brushstrokes with my not all that big of a paintbrush was definitely not the right approach. I am putting the darkness around so it outlines her and also her little cat. Once again, I figured out that I really enjoy putting extra characters into a scene, and it's a lot easier to draw an extra animal character than an extra person character. Plus, I just really love animals, and I love art that has animals in it, so I think my art should also be that type that has animals in it. And I know that I've put cats in my last 3 paintings now, plus one back in December, but you know, they're my favorite animal, and I do want to add other animals like rabbits and dogs and things like that to my paintings. But for now, I'm going a little cat crazy, and so that's what's that white blob is sitting next to her on the broom. Also, the way that I'm making this dark background swoosh of blue also need a little experiment the second time to figure out how to get the colors right. Finally, I mixed a dark bluey purple with a dark greeny purple on the palette, like on top of, like I took a swish of water and then I swished it over the one color and then over another color without taking it out and mixing it elsewhere, and so that way I was able to get really condensed color and really strong pigment while also getting a mixed color, because otherwise, as you can see when I do her skin tone, I usually mix colors on a little secondary lid palette thing, and whenever I do that they always get thinned out and a lot lighter, so mixing them actually in the color bins there really makes them come through a lot stronger. It also makes my bins really messy. As you can see, the colors are a bit mixed as it is sitting there next to my painting, but you know, I'm a bit of a mess of a person, and it kind of reflects my personality, so there you go. Her outfit was also kind of a thrown together thing. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it, but it was fairly quickly designed, and I kind of got the idea from, I really wanted her to be quite dark outfitted and to have it be a black and purple type thing, because I really associate that with witches. Don't ask me why, it's just kind of a Halloween thing that purple is like a color that is Halloween-y now, along with green and orange. I don't know why. So I decided to go classic with a black and purple outfit, and I wanted the purple to be kind of understated because I've done a lot of purple paintings lately, and so I wanted most of her outfit to be black with just a little bit of purple accenting. So I went with this top that's supposed to be this what is it, chiffon, that floaty fluttery fabric in lots of little layers and flounces, and then dark black boots with purple leggings. And so I wanted it to be kind of a little party outfit, like she's on her broom in the night, she's heading out on the town to go to a party type of a thing, and in the meantime she is entertaining her little cat who is accompanying her. And you can say that this cat is a familiar, or he's just her pet, I don't know, but clearly he's very skilled as he likes to fly on her broomstick with her. I could not get my cats on a broomstick. They would not like how unsteady that would be. But I designed the little cat to be a tuxedo cat. I did not know what color he was going to be until I painted him. I was thinking originally of doing a tabby because they're really pretty and different, because, you know, a lot of witches are associated with black cats, and I didn't want to just do a plain black cat because I'd already done one of those in my herbalist painting and kind of in my dragon painting, so I wanted to do a different colored one. But I'm kind of nervous about drawing a tabby cat, even though you think it's just stripes. But I tried painting a tabby cat recently, and I was just very nervous about it, and it seemed really hard. So I decided to go for tuxedo with this one, which I was also kind of nervous about because I love tuxedo cats so much. I've really had a thing for them ever since we got our own tuxedo cat named Zipper. And as I was painting this cat, I heavily modeled the markings after him. The only difference is he doesn't have a white spot on his tail, but he does have all the white socks and that big ruff of white on his chin and chest. That is the classic tuxedo. And he has got his head tilted up, so he is watching her make sparkles with her wand. Because I always think it's really cute when cats are just having their attention totally fixed on something, because they're so great at just focusing completely when they're in like hunter mode. It's very cute. And also that got me out of the scariness of accurately painting a cat's face, because that's another thing that's kind of difficult, getting the features right so that they are cute but also huntery and, you know, intelligent, and being able to see that all of that in the cat's eyes is a little bit difficult when I've only painted a couple of cats before. And so while I was putting the dark paint on the little cat there, I felt like it didn't really look quite right or look quite like a real or have quite the look of a cat that I wanted. But after the paint dried, I could see the cat much better in the shape, and at that point it reminded me so much of my cat Zipper that it made me kind of sad, because we lost that cat about 10 months ago and it's still kind of fresh and I miss him a lot. And I actually very much wanted to cuddle the little cat in the painting, which is something that I usually want to cuddle cats that I see in pictures or in a lot of paintings, but I hadn't actually wanted to cuddle the cats I had painted so far, or even that super cute fox that I made back in October or November, even though it was so fluffy. But when I had gotten finished painting this cat, I was like, I want to cuddle that cat. And so I felt like, at least for me, that was a successful cat painting, that it made me want to have a cuddle, even if it was a somewhat melancholy feeling. And so finally I got to adding the details with my pens. A thing that I have experienced is that I can't seem to figure out where I want highlights until I'm done painting. Like, I really like the idea of using watercolors in such a way that my whites are preserved with the white of the paper, and so that I don't have to use so much pen work with the whites to make the highlights. But my brain just will not function that way, where I can plan highlights ahead of time. My brain is like, no, I cannot see highlights. Until they're a shape, I cannot see where a highlight goes. Don't make me think that way. So I'm sure I could force it if I wanted to, but at this point I'd rather not force my aspects of art while I'm still trying to figure out my style and such. So for the moment, we're going to continue doing this, and I do really like the look that I got, but it's just a little bit of a bother when you feel like you can't do something rather than you're choosing not to do something. So I hope to continue to work on that idea and kind of try to occasionally get my brain to leave some white space. Like in this case, I did actually manage to leave the white space for the cat's ruff and paws and tail, so that was a pretty big deal for me. And I think that that looks a lot better than it would have if I had tried to put that much detail on with white paint or white pen. But I wanted her to be kind of a sparkle fairy. That was my idea for, that's what she does with her wand, that's what she likes to do. She's a sparkle fairy, she makes sparkles. And so I put sparkles all over her top, so it's a fluttery, chiffony, sparkly top as well. And then I also put some glitter paint on her top and her leggings and her boots, because, you know, glitter fairy, might as well go all out. And then I put a few little white sparkles on her leggings and just white highlights on her boots. No more sparkles. I thought that might be a bit too much. And then I did a lot of white highlights on the cat. I wasn't sure about that because I thought it would look funny just having like white lines on him instead of black lines like I do on, you know, normal things, but it actually turned out really nice. I think it actually does look like moon and starlight on him and not a natural, so I'm really happy with that. And then the stars that I put in the background were part of my original plan, and I'm glad that worked out well because I was kind of nervous about it. Yeah, so here we have my sparkle witch with her little tuxedo cat watching her make sparkles, soaring through the air on her way to a nightlife party. thank you so much for watching. This was a very long art video, so thanks for your patience, but there were a lot of details, and I usually don't like to speed it up past 7 times because I feel like you can't see what I'm doing when I do that, so that's why this ended up being so long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!